Pollution. What is pollution? Any undesirable change. Means any change which is not desired in physical, in chemical or biological qualities or properties of environment is called pollution. Now, the agents, the things that bring such undesirable changes, such things, such agents are known as pollutants. What are different types of pollutions? Different types of pollutions are air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, and radiation pollution. And we will deal with all these pollutions one by one. The first topic which I am going to take for you is air pollution. What is air pollution? Any undesirable change. In what? In physical, in chemical or biological properties of air is called air pollution. Any change which is not needed. Okay, so that is undesirable change. So any change which is not desired in physical, chemical or biological properties of air is called air pollution. And various kinds of pollutants are present in air. And these pollutants may be the oxides of sulfur, these may be oxides of nitrogen, these may be oxides of carbon, smoke, etc. These pollutants are released in air by the smokestacks, means chimneys of thermal power plant, smelters and by other industries. Air pollution in major cities. The main cause of air pollution in the cities are the automobiles. So, automobiles are the major cause of air pollution in metro cities, and industries also plays an important role in increasing the air pollution as well. Now this slide shows you the effects of air pollution. Oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen causes defoliation, that is falling down of leaves in the plants. In human beings, oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen, they cause various kinds of problems like eye irritation, nasal irritation, chronic cough, bronchitis, etc. Oxides of sulfur and oxides of nitrogen reacts with rainwater and causes acid rain. The photochemical smoke destroys plants and vegetation. The ozone, which is formed by photochemical reactions of various kinds of oxides like oxides of nitrogen and hydrocarbons at lower level of the atmosphere, is called photochemical smoke, and it is highly suffocating and irritating. The slide you can see the effects of carbon oxide in the atmosphere. Oxides of carbon, especially carbon dioxide, results in greenhouse effect. As a result of greenhouse effect, infrared rays coming from the sun are not allowed to go out of the Earth's atmosphere. They remain in the Earth's atmosphere and increases the temperature of the Earth. It results in global warming. How we can control air pollution. Air pollution can be controlled by the use of electrostatic precipitator. Electrostatic precipitator can remove 99% of particulate matter which is present in the exhaust from thermal power plants. It has electrode wire and a stage of collecting plates. The electrode wires, they release electrons, and these electrons, when they get attached to the dust, they give them a net negative charge. The collecting plates, which are positively charged plates, attract the charged particles, which are negatively charged. We can also use scrubber, and scrubbers, they remove gases like SO2 from industrial exhaust. We should use catalytic converters in our automobiles for reducing emission of harmful gases. Vehicles which are fitted with catalytic converters, they should use unleaded petrol, as leaded petrol inactivates the catalyst. Catalytic converters have palladium, platinum and rhodium as the catalyst. An auto fuel policy is also given by the Government of India, and it has let out a roadmap to cut down the vehicular air pollution in many cities of India. This is the slide of an electrostatic precipitator, in which you can see that red colored collecting plates are allowing dust particles to pass through them, and these dust particles are negatively charged, whereas the collecting plates are positively charged. Positively charged collecting plates are allowing these dust particles to fall on them, and these dust particles are getting collected on these slides or sheets or collecting plates. Now the air which is passing through these collecting plates is much purified air. This is the slide of a scrubber. The dirty air is allowed to enter in this scrubber, and when this dirty air goes up, the dust particles, they get trapped by the lime spray, and only the clean gas, pure gas, purified air is allowed to go out of the scrubber through the outlet. This is the slide of a catalytic converter which is fitted into automobiles to reduce the emission of unburnt hydrocarbons. These catalytic converters are made up of very costly metals like platinum, palladium, and rhodium. This slide is showing you the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases, they absorb long wave, that is infrared radiations from the earth, and emit it again towards the earth. The cycle continues till the earth's surface has no long wave radiation to emit. So, some of the solar radiation is reflected by the earth and the atmosphere, whereas some of the infrared radiation passes through the atmosphere. Some is absorbed and re-emitted in all the directions by greenhouse gases. And the effect of this is to warm the Earth's surface and the lower atmosphere. Infrared radiations are responsible for causing global warming of the Earth. This slide is explaining us global warming. Earth's surface re-emits heat in the form of infrared radiation. But a part of this does not escape into the space, as atmospheric gases like carbon dioxide, methane, etc., they absorb a major part of it. This slide is showing us the contribution of these gases in global warming. 60% carbon dioxide is responsible for increasing the global warming. 6% nitrous oxide, 14% CFS, and 20% methane. So, the greatest contribution is of carbon dioxide, that is 60% towards greenhouse effect. Consequences of greenhouse effect and how we can control it. During the Park Century, the temperature of the earth is increased by 0.6 degrees centigrade, most of it during the last 3 decades. Scientists believe that this rise in temperature is leading to deleterious changes in the environment and resulting in hot climatic conditions or changes, and the name has been given to it El Nino effect. This leads to an increased melting of polar ice caps as well as of other places like the Himalayan snow caps. Over many years, this will result in a rise in sea level that can submerge many coastal areas. Now, various measures to control global warming. The various measures include cutting down use of fossil fuels, planting trees, improving efficiency of energy usage, reducing deforestation, and slowing down the growth of human population. International initiatives are also being taken to reduce the emission of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This slide is telling us about radioactive wastes. The radioactive wastes are produced from the nuclear fission of heavy atoms such as uranium, thorium, etc. for the production of power. The nuclear waste should be stored after heavy treatment and packed in special containers. Radioactive waste should be buried deep under the ground for a minimum of 500 meters and at least for 60 to 80 years for the waste to stabilize. Even there is a high chance of nuclear contamination of the surrounding areas and the ground water. So we should be very careful while disposing of this radioactive waste. This slide is telling us the effects of radioactive waste. Radioactive waste is highly toxic and causes mutations, that is, changes in the genes, and cancer. Failure of nuclear power plants can have disastrous consequences. The use of nuclear fuels should be avoided if possible. There are some famous cases of leakage at nuclear power plants, such as the 3 Mile Island and the Chernobyl incidents, which are shown in the next 2 slides. Ozone depletion in the stratosphere. Ozone is found in the upper part of the atmosphere called the stratosphere. It acts as a shield, a covering by absorbing ultraviolet radiations from the sun. UV rays or ultraviolet rays are highly injurious to living organisms since DNA and protein of living organisms preferentially absorb ultraviolet rays, and its high energy breaks the chemical bonds within these molecules. The thickness of the ozone in a column of air from the ground to the top of the atmosphere is measured in terms of Dobson units, that is DU. The slide is showing us the process of formation of ozone in the stratosphere. Ozone gas is continuously formed by the action of UV rays on molecular oxygen, and the same ozone can be degraded back into molecular oxygen, same in the stratosphere. The first diagram is showing you the process of formation of ozone gas. Oxygen is degrading or breaking down into 2 oxygen atoms. One of the oxygen atom can go and fuses with the oxygen molecule, and the result is formation of O3, that is ozone molecule. When the same ozone molecule gets destructed, it changes back to molecular oxygen and oxygen atom. And this way, this chain or cycle goes on. This slide is showing us the effects of chlorofluorocarbons on the ozone. There should be a balance between the production and degradation of ozone in the stratosphere. The balance has been disrupted due to enrichment of chlorofluorocarbons. Chlorofluorocarbons find wide use as refrigerants. Chlorofluorocarbons discharged in the lower part of atmosphere move upward and reach stratosphere. In stratosphere, ultraviolet rays acts on them, releasing chlorine atoms. Chlorine degrades ozone, releasing molecular oxygen. With these atoms acting merely as catalysts, chlorine atoms are not consumed in the reaction. Chlorofluorocarbons results in depletion of the ozone layer, and this depletion results in formation of ozone hole. This ozone hole can be very clearly seen in the Antarctic region. Although ozone depletion is occurring widely in the stratosphere, the depletion is particularly marked over the Antarctic region. This has resulted in the formation of a large area of thinned ozone layer, commonly called as the ozone hole. Consequences of ozone depletion on human health. Ultraviolet radiation of wavelength shorter than ultraviolet B are almost completely absorbed by Earth's atmosphere, given that the ozone layer is intact. But ultraviolet B damages DNA and mutation may occur. It causes aging of skin, damage to skin cells, and various types of skin cancers. In human eyes, cornea absorbs ultraviolet B radiation, and a high of it causes inflammation of cornea, which we call snow blindness. It may also cause cataract, etc. Such exposure may permanently damages the cornea. Recognizing the deleterious effects of ozone depletion, an international treaty known as the Montreal Protocol was signed at Montreal, Canada in 1987, and it was made effective in 1989 to control the emission of ozone depleting substances.